You ever stand in your driveway, coffee barely warm, robe still on, and just stare at something so absurd, so flat-out stupid, you start wondering if you're still asleep and dreaming? Yeah, that was me, 7 a.m., Tuesday, sun just coming up, and there's a blinding yellow ticket slapped right on my truck's windshield. My truck. In my driveway. A fine from the HOA for, get this, parking on my own property. I laughed. I mean, what else can you do? This couldn't be real. The house is mine. The driveway's mine. I'm not blocking the street, not even close to the sidewalk. My first thought was it had to be some mix-up. Then I spotted the signature at the bottom. Karen Holbrook, HOA president. If you've ever dealt with an HOA, you know there's always one, right? The clipboard commando. The one who treats a quiet little neighborhood like it's the Pentagon and she's on high alert. That's Karen. She's the lady who actually measures grass with a ruler. The type who leaves those passive-aggressive notes about your trash bins if you so much as let them linger an extra hour. She wasn't just president. She was the judge, jury, and executioner of the HOA rulebook. I crumpled the ticket, told myself it would blow over, and tried to salvage what was left of my morning. By noon, though, my inbox pinged with a new message. Subject line, second notice, unauthorized parking violation. $75, and if I didn't cough it up in a week, the fine would jump. That's when it hit me. She was dead serious. I called her, trying to play it cool. Hey Karen, it's Mike from Lot 24. I think there's some kind of misunderstanding. She cut me off mid-sentence. No misunderstanding. Driveways are for temporary parking only. It's all in the bylaws. Vehicles must be parked in the garage overnight. The smugness was thick enough to taste through the phone. I tried to explain. My garage was packed with tools, old motorcycle project, the works. Then move them, she snapped. Rules are rules. And hung up. Let me back up a sec. I'm not a guy who goes looking for fights, but if someone brings the fight to my front yard, I'm not just gonna roll over. So, out came the dusty HOA handbook. You ever look for something hoping to find a miracle? That was me, scouring every page, every footnote. And boom, there it was. A loophole so golden I nearly laughed out loud. But I'll get to that. Because before I could even flex my new knowledge, Karen decided to go nuclear. By Thursday, I was public enemy number one. She was standing at the end of my driveway, sunglasses, clipboard, like she was writing me up for a felony. Good morning, Michael, she said, eyes glued to her paper. Still haven't moved the truck, I see. I kept my cool. Pointed out that the bylaws say temporary parking means overnight street parking, not driveways. She just smiled that smile. You're misinterpreting the rules. The board has decided driveways count as temporary use areas. The board, huh? She said it with the finality of a Supreme Court ruling and then stalked off. Another fine appeared that night. Second in 3 days. Something inside me just snapped. Maybe it was her tone, maybe it was just the principle, but I decided if she wanted a war, I was ready. I started digging. Emails, PDFs, meeting minutes, every scrap of boring HOA nonsense. And there it was, Section 5, Paragraph 2. Driveways may be used for parking by the property owner, immediate family, or guests, as long as the vehicle's registered and not abandoned. Jackpot. I printed it, highlighted it, and taped it right next to the next fine she left on my windshield. Just for fun, I sent a photo of that page and her ticket to the whole HOA mailing list. Subject line, Karen's selective enforcement policy. The neighborhood blew up. Replies, memes, people swapping Karen horror stories. Someone made a meme of her with a radar gun. It was wild. The next day, Karen showed up fuming. That was private correspondence, she hissed at me. Really? I shot back. Then why's it in the public bylaws? But just as I was feeling smug, I noticed something. A bright red sports car, parked in front of Karen's place. Never seen it before. She caught my eye. That's my son's car. He's visiting. Except that car had sat there for days, breaking the same rule she'd tried to nail me with. I couldn't resist. Saturday, I got strategic. Karen's son's car had been parked in the exact same spot for 4 days. No guest permit, half blocking the sidewalk. So I documented it. Photos, timestamps, even a video pointing out the missing permit. I sent it all to the HOA board, copying Karen, subject, unregistered vehicle, Section 5 violation. An hour later, I got a reply from Tom, the vice president. He's one of the sane ones. Thanks for bringing this to our attention, Mike. We'll handle it. A few hours later, a tow truck rolled up. You ever see karma in slow motion? Karen was out watering her roses, face going pale as the truck backed up to her son's car. She ran over, flailing her arms, yelling at the driver. "You can't tow that. That's my son's car." Driver just shrugged. "Ma'am, got a call from your HOA. Rules say unregistered vehicle, parked too long, gotta go." She stormed over to me, furious. "You did this." I just grinned. "Hey, the board handled it. Rules are rules, right?" For once, she had nothing to say. A couple neighbors clapped as the truck rolled off. It felt good, not gonna lie. Next morning, the HOA sent out a notice. All parking enforcement paused pending policy review. Translation: Karen's power trip was over. I thought that was the end of it. But people like her, they don't quit, they double down. For a week, everything went quiet. No fines, no notes, just this weird calm. Then Friday night, I came home to a new notice taped to my garage. Notice of hearing, infraction review. Karen was accusing me of harassment of a board member. I laughed, out loud, right there in the driveway. Harassment? For forwarding an email? I showed up at the hearing. Why not? The whole board was there. Karen, dead center, stack of papers, that smug look never budging. "Michael," she said, voice dripping with fake sweetness, "your actions have disrupted the harmony of our community." I leaned back, just looked at her. Disrupted? You fine me for parking in my driveway. Your son's car got towed for breaking the same rule. Who's really causing the drama here? Tom, the VP, cleared his throat. "He's got a point, Karen." She glared at him, like she could burn a hole through his head. That was a misunderstanding. I slid a folder across the table, every fine, every photo, every bylaw sheet twisted. "Here's the thing," I said. "It's not the rules, it's how you enforce them. You can't just play favorites and call it justice." Tom flipped through the papers, eyebrows climbing with each page. "Karen, this looks like selective enforcement." Silence. Then Ruth, this older lady who barely speaks, says, "I move that we suspend Karen as president, pending review." Karen's face went beet red. "You can't do that." But they could, and they did. 3-1, motion passed. She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the walls rattled. 2 weeks later, new memo. Residents may park in their own driveways without restriction. I printed that sucker and taped it right where the first fine had been. Sweet, sweet justice. You know, sometimes justice isn't flashing lights and sirens. Sometimes it's a tow truck, a clipboard, and a stubborn neighbor who finally met her match. So let me ask you, was I right to fight back, or did I just make things messier for everyone? Drop your thoughts below. Is there such a thing as too much HOA enforcement, or do communities need people like Karen to keep order? Sound off, I want to know. And if you've ever gone toe-to-toe with your HOA, you gotta tell me your wildest story. I'll be reading every comment.